I knew the night would go wrong the moment she squeezed my hand and said, "Just smile, okay? Don't make it awkward." We were standing outside her old friend's mansion, light spilling out of tall glass doors, music pulsing through the cold evening air. My wife, Anna, looked stunning, confident, radiant, the kind of woman who belonged at events like this. I, on the other hand, was the plus one, the supportive husband who fixed air conditioners for a living. Inside, the place buzzed with laughter and expensive perfume. I could already feel the divide. Men in suits talking about investments, women comparing vacation homes, and me clutching a drink like it was armor. Anna thrived in that world. She grew up in it. Private schools, designer clothes, summer homes. I didn't. I built my way up from nothing, running my small HVAC business after years of sweating through basements and attics. It wasn't glamorous, but it was honest. When we married, she used to tell me she loved my work ethic. Lately, though, she just called it small time. Halfway through the evening, I noticed him, Ethan, her ex-boyfriend from college, the one she once described as the one that got away. He looked exactly how I imagined. Tall, self-assured, the kind of man who never had to introduce himself twice. His wife, Claire, stood beside him, quiet, observant, the kind of woman who didn't need to say much to command attention. Anna lit up when she saw them. "Oh my God, Ethan," she squealed, running over and hugging him a little too long. I followed, smiling through gritted teeth. "Jake, this is Ethan. And his wife, Claire," she said, her voice a touch too bright. Ethan shook my hand. "So you're the lucky guy. Anna's told us all about you." "Has she?" I said, forcing a laugh. "She said you run air conditioning or something?" He smiled politely, but there was that subtle tilt in his tone. Pity dress as politeness. "Something like that," I said. "Keeps people cool when things get too hot." Claire smirked. Ethan chuckled. Anna just rolled her eyes. Dinner came, and so did the drinks. Anna got louder, bolder. She loved the attention, especially when it came from men like Ethan. I tried to stay quiet, reminding myself it was just a party, just old memories. But then, during the toast, she grabbed the mic. "To old friends," she began, her voice carrying across the room, "and to the people who've come so far since our college days. Some of us are CEOs, doctors, lawyers." She laughed lightly, swaying slightly. "And some of us, well, some of us fix air conditioners." Laughter rippled across the room. I froze. She looked right at me when she said it, smiling. My stomach twisted. It wasn't just a joke. It was a tone, a little smirk at the end, the unspoken, "You don't belong here." For a moment, the sound of people laughing blurred into white noise. I set my drink down and walked toward the door, but before I could reach it, another voice cut through the noise. "Actually," Claire said, her tone calm but sharp enough to slice glass, "I think we should toast to the people who build things with their hands. The ones who don't need to belittle others to feel important." The room fell quiet. Claire stood up, taking the mic from Anna with a polite smile. "Because you know," she continued, looking directly at Ethan and then at Anna, "some of us know what it's like to be married to someone who looks successful on paper but lies for a living." Ethan stiffened. Anna blinked, confused. Claire took a slow sip of her wine. "Funny thing, though. When you find out your husband's been meeting another woman in hotel rooms for months, it really puts things into perspective." A murmur ran through the crowd. My heart pounded. Ethan tried to grab the mic, but Claire stepped back. "Don't worry," she said coolly. "I'm not naming names. But since we're toasting honesty tonight," she smiled thinly, "maybe we should all check our phones before we raise our glasses." She set the mic down and walked straight out of the room. The silence that followed was unbearable. Anna's face drained of color. Ethan avoided her gaze, fumbling for his phone. I didn't need to check mine. I already knew. For months, there had been subtle changes, late-night meetings, secretive texts, the new perfume she wore when she went out with friends. I'd asked once, gently, and she'd laughed it off. I wanted to believe her. I needed to. Now, watching her tremble, I finally saw the truth reflected in her eyes. I stood there, the room spinning around me, until she finally whispered, "Jake, Please, let's go home. I nodded. You go ahead, I said quietly. I'll drive myself. That night, I didn't go home. I drove to the office instead, the small two-room space above my workshop that always smelled like coffee and metal. I sat there for hours, replaying the night over and over. The humiliation, the mockery, the betrayal. When dawn came, I opened my laptop and logged into our joint accounts. I wasn't cruel. I didn't drain them. I just moved what was mine into my business account. Then I called my lawyer. By the time Anna called me later that morning, sobbing, I'd already made up my mind. Jake, please, she cried. It was just texting at first. I swear I didn't mean for it to. I know, I said quietly. You never mean for it to, but you did. Weeks passed. The gossip from that party spread fast, especially after Claire filed for divorce. I didn't hear from Ethan again, but I did hear he'd moved out of town. Anna tried to fix things for a while. Flowers, apologies, promises, but the truth was already out there. You can't unhear laughter at your expense. You can't unsee the look in her eyes when she realizes she's been caught. When I finally signed the papers, I felt oddly calm. Not angry, not vindicated. Just empty, like the storm had passed and left silence behind. A month later, I got an email from Claire. It was short. You didn't deserve that. Neither of us did. If you ever want to talk, coffee's on me. I never replied. But sometimes I think about her, the way she stood there, fearless, speaking truth into a room full of lies. And sometimes when I'm fixing a broken air conditioner in a stranger's home, sweat running down my back, I think about that night, about how she mocked my job in front of everyone. And I smile, because the woman who tried to make me small ended up shrinking herself. And I, quietly, patiently, without saying a word, walked away whole.